This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, hello and welcome to an all-new Rated R Safety Show. Today is Monday, March the 16th of 2020. And wow, does that sound low? Anyways, today is day 76 of the year, only 290 days remaining of 2020. Well, what an exciting 2020 it has been so far. A lot of things that have been unexpected. A lot of things that we did not think that at this point would have occurred. So today on the Rated R Safety Show, we are coming to you extremely early, number one. And number two, we're going to do something we haven't done before. And I'm going to play to you broadcast news. And we're going to play the broadcast news first. Then I'm going to come back on. Then you and I are going to speak, have our little conversation. But here's broadcast news from our sponsors and partners, Feature Story News. So here it is as they're giving it out real time.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. New York schools are being closed on Monday, with restaurants, bars and other venues in the city being shut from Tuesday in response to the coronavirus outbreak. Los Angeles is also closing bars and restaurants. It comes as France extends its lockdown restrictions and a series of European nations continue social distancing requirements. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is holding an emergency COBRA meeting to discuss tougher measures for tackling coronavirus. Gatherings of more than 500 people could soon be banned across the UK. Over 70s could also soon be told to self-isolate for as long as 4 months. It comes as the UK faces criticism for not enacting stricter lockdowns like other European nations. Health Secretary Matt Hancock says strict measures will be brought in at the right time.
The measures that we're taking, the measures that we're looking at taking, they will disrupt the ordinary lives of almost everybody in the country in order to tackle this virus.
Transport Secretary Grant Shapps says the government's approach is dictated by scientific advice.
We do follow the views of the chief medical scientist, the chief medical officer. It's important that we have a completely scientific-led approach in this country rather than just doing things randomly. It's not the case that the guidance which will be published doesn't mean that people would be entirely housebound. Perhaps they would be able to walk their dog. It is the elderly and or people with underlying health vulnerabilities.
Russia has closed its border with Belarus in an attempt to stem the spread of coronavirus. 63 people in Russia have been diagnosed with COVID-19, 3 of whom contracted the illness inside the country. From Moscow, Julia Chapman reports.
Almost all of Russia's land borders have now been closed to travellers as part of measures against coronavirus. But flights are still continuing from abroad into the capital, Moscow. Attendance at Russian schools is now optional, but authorities have refrained from closing them altogether. Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin says the government will spend some $4 billion to support the country's economy during the pandemic. The government has denied that it is downplaying the number of infections in Russia, as some have raised doubts over how one of China's neighbours and largest trading partners could have such low numbers.
US presidential hopeful Joe Biden says he will pick a woman as his vice president. The Democrat frontrunner made the announcement during his first head-to-head televised debate with Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Due to the coronavirus, the debate was held in a TV studio with just 10 other people in the room, rather than in front of a live audience. Biden said he wanted a female running mate for the election.
I will, in fact, I'll pick a woman to be vice president. There are a number of women who are qualified to be president tomorrow. I would pick a woman to be my vice president.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Okay. So I wanted to give you the news that we're getting in real time. Every hour, at the top of the hour, if you are listening to Safety FM, we will actually give you 3 minutes of news from Featured Story News directly. So what does that mean? Every hour, top of the hour, we're going to go ahead and actually give you news in real time as they're going in place. So I want you to be aware exactly what is happening. I want you to be aware exactly what is going on. So if you are listening on to safetyfm.com and .live, that way you have the opportunity of listening to what's going on in real time. Now, we are available at safetyfm.com. We are available at safetyfm.live. I normally recommend the .live if you are actually listening on a mobile device because we don't actually push that much data out in regard to what's going on there. And then we're available on the streaming apps. Hopefully, based on some of the people that asked me if I actually am I monitoring the comments, yes, I monitor some things that pops up on the screen. Not everything. Can't do it. Just don't have the time to do it. So if you take a listen on what's going on, this is where we're at. So this is information of what's happening. So couple things that I want to bring up, and I'm pulling it outside of my normal realm of normal news stories. Since we have started here in the last few minutes, here's what I got. Number one, this news broke on Sunday, so I don't know if it's really new news, but I'm going to give you something here in a moment. MGM Resorts will close all of its Las Vegas properties, the hotel chain announced late Sunday. The company, which owns many of the major Las Vegas hotels, including Aria, Bellagio, Mandalay Bay, MGM, New York, and the Mirage, said that it was starting on Tuesday. It will temporarily suspend operation at its Las Vegas properties until further notice. Casinos on those properties will close on Monday, according to the company. This is what was said yesterday. Now, since I've jumped on the air, Disney is scheduled to close all stores, hotels amid coronavirus outbreak. This includes Disney Springs, and this will go into effect starting tomorrow. Now, you are aware that Disney World had been closing down parts of what they had going on, but not all of it. So that's what's happening right now in real time. Okay. So this is the stuff that we know right now of what's happening. There has been so many different things that I've been able to see on the news. Yeah, I have locked myself up by choice to listen to what's going on. I'm going to give you the traditional news stories as we have them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much sarcasm will be behind some of these today. I don't know how we're going to do some of this information. But I want you to be aware that we have information available at safetyfm.com, at safetyfm.live. Right now, as I said, real-time news every hour, top of the hour for a minimum of 3 minutes. Also, if you are a listener of the Todd Conklin Show, the pre-accident investigation, Todd Conklin is releasing a brand new episode daily going over COVID-19, the coronavirus, and things that are going on and things that are coming up as questions. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Don't hesitate to come onto the website and actually push stuff in there. There is a robo or a bot inside of there. I was going to call it robo something else. So there is a bot in there. If you have questions, ask the questions and we'll move forward with them. I want that to be an option for you. The other thing, on this Friday, hoping that everything is still good and ready to go, at 1 p.m., we will do our first virtual town hall. 1 p.m. Eastern time.
With the changes going on in the world, Safety FM will have their first virtual town hall with some of your favorite hosts. Listen on safetyfm.com and safetyfm.live.
So as we speak right now, we are going to have a virtual town hall. This will be available on the streaming services, the streaming platforms. We will also do it as a podcast post. I will actually be the moderator. Todd Conklin, Rob Fisher, the Safety Justice League, Sheldon Primus, David Proven from the Safety at Works podcast are all currently scheduled to be on there. We even have our newest host, which we haven't even had the opportunity yet to announce that he's going to be part of our new shows. Pedro Maciel from the X Factor of Safety. Also, Samuel Goodman will be on there. Of course, I have some other people that are scheduled to come on right now. And we want to bring in some industry thought leaders as well that are familiar with some of these things that are outside of the normal realm of safety that some of us don't understand. So that will be something else there. So just take a listen to that as we go forward. Anywho, let me get you into what you came here for the most part, and that is the actual news and the style that we do it here on the Rated R Safety Show.
Duh.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
So taking it from the top, because that's what we're going to need to do. We're just going to need to go forward and have these conversations as we're supposed to be doing them. So right now, let's go over it. Airport Customs Department were jammed over the weekend as international travelers flooded back home as they face increased scrutiny, not security, but scrutiny over where they had traveled from. Travelers arriving to Chicago O'Hare reported up to 7 hours. Yeah, you heard me correctly, 7 hours of waits between customs and screenings. Of course, the best way to transmit the coronavirus is in a packed room with other people who have it. The efforts may have to prove profoundly counterproductive. Yeah, I don't have anything going on. I'm just choking on my own saliva. More information. So, let me kind of just say this because I have to get it out of my system. If you knew that you were going to change all this shit last week and talk about that all these new measures were going to be in place because people couldn't travel from X countries and they needed to get their ass over here by X amount of time, why did you not have better protocols set in place? I'm not blaming the workers, by no means. But we had to have a better alternative in place, already kind of scripted out. Based on the information that's out there, it was piss poor on how it was handled. It was piss poor on how it was managed. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be stuck in an airport later this afternoon. That's by choice because I need to go take care of some important stuff. And I'm concerned on some of these things that we're going to run into. How did we not know that these changes were going to happen if they were already announced? It wasn't like it was one idea to another. Now, some great ideas can be out there, but they have to be managed correctly. And we can talk about adaptability and learning and all that kind of fun stuff at the moment. But we have to take a look at some of the parameters that were set up on how some of these other contingencies were not spoken about. Let's continue down the path here. American Airlines has announced drastic cuts in service. It will scale back its international routes by 75% between now and May the 6th. By May, domestic flights are expected to be cut back roughly about 30%. Meanwhile, the United Airlines is cutting back the capacity for April and May in half, while corporate officers will take symbolic pay cuts of 50%. They're bracing for a $1.5 billion in lost revenue in March alone. They are so far 1 million fewer passengers this month, year over year. So you have to take kind of some thoughts here. The traveling public, these people doing these drastic changes, some cuts in flights, some of that kind of stuff going on. Also, what's going to happen to the economy? I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, we need to be afraid, but these are things that we're going to have to start thinking about. Seriously thinking about.
Duh.
Anyways, let's continue. Friday late stock rally was the biggest single day points jump in the market in history. It closed up nearly 2,000 points as President Trump formally declared a national emergency to marshal federal resources to combat the coronavirus and announced public-private partnerships to educate the public and test those who need them. So I'm glad that part of it jumped. What's going to happen to average Joe American out there who does not have stock options, who does not have bonds, who does not have mutual funds? What's going to happen with those people? What's going to happen with the people that are living paycheck to paycheck? Not a political rant. Yes, I know we're voting here in Florida tomorrow for the Democratic primaries if you're doing that. But what's going to happen to the people that are living paycheck to paycheck? I'm sitting here and just trying to make sure that I don't implode today with some of this that's going on. I'm trying to make sure that I'm going to bring you relative important information.
Listen to our host
Of the Rated R Safety Show.
self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
So let's continue. A pregnant mother who tested positive for the coronavirus passed it along to her newborn infant, making the youngest known carrier of the disease. The British baby was tested moments after birth over the weekend. They're being treated in separate hospitals. Let me try to get that out correctly. The number of cases in the UK has spiked in recent days, surpassing 800 over the weekend. So far, 11 have died there. The UK. Of course, you heard about the UK and the travel restrictions coming this direction. Are they part? Are they not part? Funny how that kind of works and how that was actually talked about, especially if you start doing some percentages there. Let's continue. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases head Anthony Fauci says that the appearance of overreaction to the coronavirus is probably a good thing. The way that we get ahead of it is I want people to assume that we're overreacting because it looks like that you're overreacting. You're probably doing the right thing. He said at Face the Nation. He says the country's two-pronged strategy is to prevent new infections from entering the country and mitigating the current spread. Where were we a few weeks ago? Wasn't it like the end of January when we started hearing about this shit? Where were the people there? Why wasn't anything being done? Oh, and isn't April around the corner? Warmer climates, isn't that supposed to change some shit? Oh, yeah. Wasn't there a couple websites that said that was just speculation? But shouldn't it help?
Duh.
No, seriously. I'm being sarcastic. So, let's say that it does. Let's use the hypothetical that it does. What's going to happen in the winter? What's going to happen in the fall when the temperatures drop? I know, crystal ball method here. We need to really think about some of these things. How do you feel about being locked up? Do you think staying at home is the best idea at the moment? What about these places that are requiring people to go in and work on a daily basis? Kids are home from school. Daycares are closing. They're telling you not to go anywhere. Restaurants are closing. Bars are closing. But some people still have to go into their office. Don't get together if 50 people or more. I guess some offices are some exclusions. And if you work in an employer-employee scenario, your boss can tell you pretty much what to do. Unless they call a quarantine sequence there. Let's continue. Multiple states and municipalities are shutting down businesses where the public typically meets. Illinois and Ohio were the first with statewide plans with varying degrees of severity. In many cases, these establishments will allow kitchens to stay open to facilitate food delivery and takeout. Now, before I go on and continue with that, so are you fucking telling me that a person who is a delivery driver can't be infected to deliver the food? Seriously. I'm not saying, hey, let's not get food delivery services, but let's just be realistic. Are they testing them too? Oh, we can't test people at the moment. We don't have enough tests. But what's being done? If you look at some of these other countries, if you go to the market, they're testing you before you go in. They're even taking your temperature. And I'm not saying stockpile a whole bunch of shit at your house. But think about all these things. Think about what's going on. Yeah, and I know I'm not going to be fan favorite or Mr. Popular at the moment, but let's have some realistic conversations. Let's just not sit here and be like, oh, everything's great. I'm just going to stay home and everything's going to be perfect. Let's continue. In New York, only restaurants that serve takeout and have delivery options will be permitted to remain open starting tomorrow. Bars that do not serve food will be closed. This will also apply to clubs, movie theaters, and concert venues. On the heel of the news, Washington Governor Jay Inslee announced temporary shutdown of restaurants, bars, entertainment, recreational facilities. NBC News reports, noting that takeout services would still be allowed out and shutdowns would not apply to grocery stores or pharmacies. Los Angeles Mayor announced that bars, nightclubs, movie theaters, gyms, and fitness centers would be closed until March 31st. Meanwhile, as I already told you, but I'll tell it to you one more time, MGM has announced the temporary closure of several of its Las Vegas properties, including Area, MGM Grand, Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Excalibur, Bellagio, The Mirage, and New York, New York. Las Vegas, that doesn't close for shit. Is it serious enough yet? What are you thinking about doing? Are you going to stay home? Are you going to try to go out there? Do some craziness? Do you have enough toilet paper? Because apparently people that live at their house have not thought about water. I don't know what's going on. School districts in at least 23 states have implemented class cancellation for at least 2 weeks. Some of these are in effect immediately. Others will take place in a couple of days this week to teach students and educators how they can still participate in classes online when possible. Meanwhile, the Center of Disease Control is recommending no gathering of more than 50 people in the next 8 weeks. Yeah, I said 50, not 500, not 250. It's 50.
Duh.
Yeah, I know it's not all fun and excitement today. I know. But what is going on? Are we really giving this some serious consideration? Are we giving some thoughts now on what's happening? Listen to this one. Walmart and Kroger stores are ending 24-hour store temporarily, allowing them to restock and sanitize in the evenings. So your 24-hour superstores that are out there to make money, which that's what stores should be doing and helping, of course, their communities, are not going to be open 24 hours a day. H-E-B out of Texas asked people to stop hoarding shit because they have enough stuff to replenish the shelves and want to make sure that they're helping everyone in the community. Is that so difficult to ask for? What are you thinking about this? What are you doing now? Not everyone has the availability to stay home to work. I understand that. Not everyone can do what they do daily from home. If I am a waitress or a waiter or a cook, it's probably going to be extremely difficult for me to be able to do work if I'm home because I can't make money, especially if I'm working off of tips. Chick-fil-A in the area that I live in has went even as far as they're saying that you can come in to do work, but they're not opening the diner. They're only opening the drive-thru. Have you ever been to a Chick-fil-A drive-thru? Most of the places that I go to, Chick-fil-A drive-thrus are packed. Normally. How's that going to look now? I'm not picking on Chick-fil-A. Please understand that. I love Chick-fil-A food. Some of the other things they do I don't agree with, but that's a whole other story. Did you hear about this one? Apple and Nike stores will also be closed in the short term. Apple. Yeah. You know, the phone people. The computer people. Are you thinking about how serious this is yet? What is your plan of action? What is your next thing? What are you going to do next? We see what the world's doing. We see where everything's going right now. But what are you going to do next? Spain has instituted a nationwide lockdown as the coronavirus spreads there. Citizens are banned from leaving their homes except to buy groceries, go to work, or handle other emergencies. All police is under management of their own interior department. Puerto Rico, where I have a good chunk of family at, went into lockdown, self-quarantine last night as of 9 p.m. until the 31st of March. Let's continue. Continue. Mexico's Vive Latino Music Festival carried on as scheduled this weekend. More than 70,000 attendees gathered in Mexico City while other countries grappled with the coronavirus epidemic by shutting down church services and general normalcies. So 70,000 people in Mexico City decided to gather together. Here in Florida, there's some conversations on what to do about WrestleMania, the biggest sporting event in wrestling occurring in Tampa on April the 5th. The people in Tampa, the government, has given the WWE the opportunity to make the decision on what they want to do. Knowing that the event is less than 3 weeks away. I don't know. I'm not saying the WWE should call it. Also, the WWE was the first event that went into place right after September 11th, if you remember correctly. I know that was years ago. I don't know if they're trying to do the same thing. But I'm trying to think here. The moment that some of these things you're able to go out into the general public and there's not 10,000 questions about it, are you going to want to do it? There's somebody very well known throughout the safety industry by the name of Abby Ferry, who I was communicating with yesterday, and she was even referencing that she's not sure that if she would allow her child to go directly to school right after everything was said and done. If the bans were lifted from schools. Not calling her out. I mean, not trying to be an ass about it. But I don't disagree with her. Not at all. So let me talk about some other things. I don't know why I'm doing this, because I don't think it's important, but I think we should talk about it, because we talk about it all the time. We normally talk about the movies in the box office. Well, it sounds like this weekend people did really take a listen about not trying to be with other people. The top 5 movies had the worst movie theater going experience since the 2000s. Number 5, The Hunt, $5.3 million. That was a brand new movie. The Invisible Man, $6 million, down from the number 2 spot. That was number 4. Bloodshot, $9.3 million. That was a new movie. I Still Believe. It was a faith-based movie. $9.5 million new to the theater. Onward made $10.5 million, stayed at number 1. Also, here's what happened over the weekend with the lottery stuff, just in case you care. No lottery winner for Friday night's Mega Million drawing. Tuesday's drawing will be for $90 million jackpot or $9.4 million cash payout. No winner for Saturday night's Powerball drawing. Wednesday's drawing will be for $130 million cash payout. That's a lie. It'll be $101 million cash payout. $130 million cash. Oh my God, jackpot. I can't even speak today. I'm so upset. And if you win, what are you going to do with it? Disney's trying to do some different things right now, of course, with everything closing down, everything being rescheduled and so on. Did you hear about now on Disney Plus? Frozen 2. The Walt Disney Company announced on Friday that the film would be added over the weekend, 3 months ahead of schedule, as a way to surprise families with some fun and joy during this challenging period. Good for them. I'm glad that they were able to do it. Help out. Mint Mobile at one point was almost a sponsor of the show. Never became a sponsor, perfectly fine. But they did something over the weekend that stepped up to their current customers, and I was pretty impressed by it. They said that during this difficult times, that from now till the middle of next month, which is April, they're going to let you have unlimited data on their phone service. Now, this is a cheaper price phone service. But unlimited data, they would charge you immediately, but then refund you in less than 24 hours. Because they thought that everybody should have free phone data during these times.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
So, I don't know. I know that these are some trying times. So, as we move forward, going through this, please, I am begging you, take some precautions on what's going on. There's so many things changing in this little world of ours right now. You see how this world is so much smaller than what you actually think when you start taking a look of everything that is going on. I know that we normally finish up with the days of the year that you can celebrate. I don't really even think that when today I was pulling information, I even looked for that, to be honest with you. I am just so concerned on what we have going on right now and how things are going to move. There's so many different theories online, too. This is a hoax. This is showing how much control the government has over people. I'm not saying I agree with one thing or another. What I'm saying is you need to take the information that's being provided to you and look at it and go, this is what I need to do for me and my family. Not all of these people that are out there that are saying that they're COVID-19 or coronavirus subject matter experts are that. By no means. Not even close. But here's the other problem. Here's the other side of the equation. Some of the people who are experts are being treated as they're not experts because people are saying, oh, what the hell do they know? And I am not saying that this is based on political climate or this is based on politics, on what they should not do, and all that other fun stuff. I can just tell you this. You're going to have to take the information, do your own research, do your own vetting, and make a determination on what needs to be done. Right now, in my immediate family, of course, I care for my sisters, my brothers, so on. My wife, my 2 daughters are crucial to me. The listeners are crucial to me. I am going to continue to provide as much information as I can find as we move forward. Hopefully, I will not have these anger issues as I do today on future episodes. But it's just so upsetting, some of the stuff that has taken place up to this point. I'm going to actually pop in and pop out from time to time. And you will see me here. And then I'm going to tell you that this week, as we move forward, I'm going to jump in onto the radio station for sure. We are going to have information available to you every hour, top of the hour, minimum of 3 minutes. Minimum of 3 minutes of what's going on. And if we have to break into some of the established news stories, that's perfectly fine. I only say that from the standpoint of, hey, this information is going to be there, and I want you to be able to see it in real time. Todd Conklin, as we discussed, will have new podcasts daily. Giving information on what's going on. Oh, before I forget, because somebody just sent it to me, but you're not going to see it on the screen because they sent it to me in a private chat. Did you know that the REM song, The End of the World as We Know It, is back on the top 200 list? Most played songs right now? I know that's not important.
Duh.
But I just thought it was pretty interesting that it came back all of a sudden. Just a way to look at it. The other portion that I want you to think about as we're moving forward, what are you doing to take care of yourself? That's the important part. Your health is important. What are you doing about people that are 70 or above? Have you read these rumors about actually doing some isolation for 70-year-olds and older for up to 4 months? Somebody just typed it's a banger. I'm assuming they're talking about the REM song. So, take a listen to the different things we have going on. We're constantly streaming at safetyfm.com, safetyfm.live, and we're available at the mobile apps and on the Alexa skills. The other portion, this Friday, March the 20th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to have several of our announcers doing a virtual town hall, talking about what they're going through. We're also going to have some other people come on and talk about experience on what they're seeing from a scientific approach. Because I want to bring you people that know what they're talking about. So I will moderate this bad boy. I will make sure that my anger issues are in control. So anyways, you're listening to the Rated R Safety Show. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to get you back to the regularly scheduled program. It's a little after 10 o'clock. And I hope that you're able to find the things that you're looking for. If you need more information, more resources, please don't hesitate to contact us. We'll do everything that we can to assist. The other portion there, we have a bot on safetyfm.com. If you leave a message, we will get back to you. We'll get that assigned to someone and send you the information. And if there's anything that we can do to help in the interim time, don't hesitate to contact us. Like I always tell you, you are the most important part of Safety FM. And that is the listener. Without you, we can't do what we do. For now, love you, mean it, bye.
Duh.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.